My initial impression with the iPad was completely schizophrenic. As a consumer, I looked at this thing and I thought, wow, this is amazing. I don't know how many of you have seen the Sports Illustrated demo on the iPad, magazine demo, where you basically go through, and it's not all about the swimsuit edition. They go through and they show you what the different things that they can do in terms of interactive content, having your fantasy baseball team on there, choosing your pictures. It's amazing what you can do. The schizophrenic part comes as a publisher, and I'm looking at this and I am terrified. How am I going to achieve this? You know, Condé Nast can maybe achieve this, but as a bog standard business-to-business publisher, how can I struggle to put 3 monthly magazines out every month with the staff that I've got. How am I actually ever going to take advantage of all this interactivity in such a way that it's actually meaningful to the audience? So I think it's awesome. I think the potential is amazing. I think the reality is magazine publishers will not be able to meet that potential for a long, long time.
We've been here before so many times. The CD-ROM was going to kill, TV was going to kill print. The internet was going to kill print magazines. Here we've got another device. That's all it is. It's another device. And the trends that are happening within the print industry and how we consume content are happening irrespective of the iPad.
I think it will have major impact on certain market segments. I mean, if we look at vertical markets like educational publishing, for example, we're seeing already a trend towards kind of personalization in terms of specific content within certain kind of levels of academia, etc. So I think a device like this can really help be more portable. We're having students carry less books around. Potentially it's easier to reference and repurpose kind of content. So I think it depends on the sector and whether you're using it for a purpose or whether it's a leisure activity. I think in terms of books for leisure and reading at home, I think people are still going to use books rather than iPads. But as I say, in educational business, I think there tends to be a trend towards using technology and taking full advantage of that functionality that technology can provide. So I think it depends on the segment, on the market, and how that goes forward.
Trying to get your content into the hands of a readership is great, but if you're the New York Times, it's 600,000 of these iPads that I need to distribute, and to do that, that's hundreds of millions of dollars, and I might be able to chop my print plant out and make sure I get every of my subscribers to give one of these, and they'll pay for it over a couple of years. But I find that a very difficult thing to do, because when you lose it, drop it, wet it in the bath, the dog bites it, that's another couple of $100 to replace it.
But it was e-paper and e-ink, this material that once you create the page requires no more energy to keep it lit up. And that saved power and allowed the battery to have much more life. And that's when the Kindle came in, and the Nook, and now the iPad. And by the way, at least 30 more in the pipeline to fill that. So the question long term is, which one of all those formats will dominate? I believe that print will continue to be the dominant form, but that a large percentage will also opt, in some cases, for the electronic version. If you're taking a long trip somewhere, it is far more effective to carry a number of electronic books in your reader than to actually carry the printed books. The biggest problem, I think, holding back electronic books is digital rights management. You do not own that book. You only own a license for that book. That led Amazon, because of a copyright dispute, to delete the book 1984 from everyone's Kindle in the United States. Of all the books on earth that should not have been deleted, 1984 was not the one to do. It only reinforced what George Orwell already said. So I think the book industry will have a blend of techniques. Paper will still be there, but we will see many electronic versions, and most of the informational work, encyclopedias, research material, anything that's informational will probably be electronic, because you can search through it And I agree with Stephen that the fiction area will tend to stay on paper to a large extent, although there will be people who will take electronic versions.